Good morning, folks. This is Corey Babka from the Marks Group. Just doing our monthly tips and tricks for Salesforce. What we're doing today, it's actually end of January 2019. Happy New Year, everyone. We're actually covering the tips and tricks that were posted early December last year. We kind of skipped the end of the month, holiday season and all that. So what we did was kind of push this. So there were no new tips posted up in January, early January. But we're going to go over those today, the ones from early December. That being said, later on today or later on this week, I'm still waiting for them to be finalized. Our tips will be posted for next month. They'll go up this week. From there, what we'll do the last Tuesday of every month, as usual, we'll go over those tips 1, 2, 3. Just walk you through all the steps, make sure there's no questions, things like that. For today, I do have everyone muted. Our watchers are muted, but I do have the chat screen open, so if you have any questions and you want to comment on that, we can do that. I can also open it up to some questions and answers at the end and turn it on if need be, okay? So that being said, let's just go ahead and go right to it. So I'm going to get to, so there's 3 tips today. One is opening Salesforce in a new browser tab, which is a real easy one, but it's a nice one to have and a nice one to know. People don't realize how easy it is to just take advantage of the browser function. The other one is adding an image to a Salesforce template. And the final one that we're going to go over is the process builder, going over the is new and is changed. A little bit more on the administrative side or the system admin side, programming, development, so on and so forth. So not for the average user, but we're going to go from easy to medium to hard is what we're going to do. So let's start with the easy, right? So starting with the easy, what we've got is just the simple idea of opening a new tab if you want to open a link, any link that you have. Most folks know how to do this because you're used to browser pages. Like if you go to Google and you look at this and you say right click on, whatever these pages are, and I just say, oh, I'm going to right click on this and open up in a new tab, and I've got Amazon in the new tab. So everyone knows how to do that, but in Salesforce, I do it a lot. I will tell you that right now, especially when it comes to things like all open leads, if they need to be edited. If I go to my accounts page, for instance, and I look at, an account that has no primary, for instance, this is where I don't have a primary contact. I've got a lot of them. So you know what I do? I sit here and I right click and I say open in a new tab. I do this, open in a new tab, right click, open in a new tab. You can also use your control key, hold your control and do that. And by doing that, it will also open it up. You'll see that's where that's what we're looking at, right? That El Paso is the last one I did. What I do from here is I'll actually change these around. I'll actually do things in here, like I'll go to the contacts and say, you know what, there is no primary contact, so let's go ahead and go to Chuck, and then I'll make him a primary, right? And by doing that, making him a primary, save it. Now I've got a primary contact. Now I can close that one out. Why? Because I finished it. So what I'll do is I'll use this as my to-do list, and I right-click and do open in a new tab to edit it. And when I'm done, I will change it out. Contacts, here's Eric, I'll go here. He's my primary contact, right? Boom, save it. I'm in Lightning Edition, of course. You can still do this in Classic Edition as well. And I know that Dicolite is down, so now I'll go boom, done. And that's how I kind of control my list. It's a very useful thing. Now, in the tip, Becky, when she wrote this, she had mentioned things like this, like, oh, what are my opportunities? Well, you can right-click on those, and here's my opportunities view, right? So you can keep things this way, too, and say all opportunities. And there's my view, and that's fine. So anything that's a hyperlink, you can right-click, open a new tab. It allows you to keep a couple things open, compare left and right, multiple screens, whatever you want to do. It's very easy that way, but it's a nice one to have. Again, I use the control key a lot to do this new tab. Other folks will do the right click and open in a new tab. You can also do that open in a new window. That's known as the shift key in your browser. So if I do shift and do Elementor, and I do this, it opens in a brand new window, right? And you can do that. Some people like that too. Just a nice way to kind of work with the system. And not only that, but excuse me. Excuse me, sorry about that. Getting over a cold. It's the way to really kind of manage your lists is what it is. Like I said, leveraging the power of the browser. Okay, so that's it. That was the easy one. Okay. Moving a little bit more on the difficult side, we're talking about adding an image. Let me just move this over so we can see it. So it's adding an image to a Salesforce template. Okay. What you've got here is the ability to add an email template. Now Becky's got classic in the tip online with the image. I'm going to do it through Lightning. So if I muddle through a little bit, my apologies. We're going to get there though. Okay. So the first thing is you have to find the documents area. Okay. So the weird thing is here, like if I go to my setup and I go to, let's just go to here and just go templates. Right. I've got my classic email templates or, email templates. So if I just do email templates, right? I go here and do this. What we end up with is, a template. It looks like this, where you've got all these different things. And this is probably an example of what we were talking about with the image. And that's what we can talk about. So mail merge templates, same thing. Email templates, actually mail merge, I'm sorry, mail merge is, I don't know, it used to be Word, but it's in the email area. So that must be the new for Lightning. We're going to do something in the classic email templates just for the heck of it, okay? But what you end up with is this is the ability to actually send someone an email. So if I have a goldmine upgrade email that I have here with bullets and all that kind of stuff, that's great, right? And if I go to one of my people, I'm going to go to my contacts. Actually, I'm just going to search for Alex. I was use my son as an example. So if I write to Alex here at this and I go email, right, I can do a new template down below. We've done this in the other tips as well, right? If I do insert creator update, I can do GM upgrade. There's my recently viewed, or I can choose from it and say which one do I want to do, okay? And then I can say I want to do the April 2018 meetup. Insert, boom, done. There's my email. Everything's fine, and I can send that. Perfect. Okay. Now, in our case here, what we want to do is we want to mess around and put an image in there, which of course makes everything very nice. The challenge is that you can't really upload an image, right? So like if I sit here and if you notice here, if I edit this, there's really no way to put an image embedded in the email. Now there are ways, if I'm doing this right, there used to be ways that you could do an attachment. And I'm not seeing that here anymore. That could be because Classic got rid of it. You used to be able to do the attachments. I'm wondering if it's here now for a new template. No, see, this is Salesforce.com only, not in Word. Oh, see, this is a Word thing. Sorry, folks. That's what I thought. So if I do email here, email attachments, email to Salesforce, enhanced. Yeah, I'm going to look for, I'm actually going to have us do a, because I always use these classic ones. It's just easier. And, but if I do this here, and I go down and I go, boom, let's do a new one. Insert a template, right? Well, I can do a new one under my templates. Yeah, and you can create them new from here is what we want to do. So it's under my templates. So that could be, tell you what, I'm going to do that. I'm going to say we're going to have someone do, we're going to have Becky do a tip on how to do this here because I don't have templates anymore. And I'm wondering where they are. Like my email settings and resolve, that's all fine, dandy, but it's not what I need. All right, so we're just going to go with the classic, right? And so the ability to do this, I know was in it's in the documents, it's in the shared documents. So if you notice up here, I don't have documents, but if I go to more, I should see it. That's what now I have to do my tips and say, where are my documents? Oh, come on. I don't have it. So where is it? So we're going to have to go here. You got to go back to Classic, folks. I'm sorry. I don't like being in Classic anymore. I'm trying to get away from it, but let's just do it this way. So if I go here, you can see that we've got our documents just to keep with the tips. I go to my documents, and then I've got certain things there. Like this is an image here, right? And if you look at it, it's going to be that shield that we were talking about, right? So what happens is you can actually go into your documents. You can add a new one. This is recent. If you just say go here, you can see a whole bunch. My personal, I think I had all of them in here for a while. I had other images, but we can do a new image if we wanted to, right? So if you save it, you have a new image, here it is. Now, Becky, I can tell you, she did this tip from far away. We don't live next door to each other. She was logged into the system and she uploaded an item. Just go here, new document, put in your title, all that kind of stuff, choose the file to upload, and the next thing you know, it's there. Now, you can also do create a reference, right? If, for instance, we wanted to go to Mark's Group Live and I wanted to sit here and say, you know what, I'm going to say, what's this image address? Let me just make sure it works out right. Let's see how it looks like that. So what I can do is I can actually go here and do a new document, say MGL image logo, right? Where do I put it? In the shared documents, okay? Choose the file, but I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to say reference and do that. Okay, why would I do that? Well, sometimes people like to change the logos on the website, maybe seasonally. And if you have the same logo being pointed to all the time, it's just going to go there, which is nice. Okay, save the button, and there it is. And if I want to view it, now you notice it's now a location. Excuse me again. If you notice, we go to the location, what you end up with is you don't get the view anymore, which is what you get with the other documents, right? If I go back to my list of documents and I go to this one, you can see it's actually an image with 5K, and I click view and it opens up a new tab. Okay. Now, if we're messing with the template, what we're going to do is we're going to view the file, because what's important is that if we want to embed this, we actually need this address. Notice how this is actually my personal instance of Salesforce. See, it's got a different name and all that. But what it is all of these files are actually open too, but it's stored within the force.com area. So I'm going to copy this, which is what it is, okay, because it's stored within. And I can go here to my classic email templates, and I can go to this one. And what Becky has essentially done is she's edited the HTML. So you're looking at your template. Let's go back and do a new one. New template, HTML. So yeah, this is fine. Active letterhead. I don't have any letterhead, so that's fine. See, I don't want to do that. Let's go back. Yeah, see, I'm just going to do a custom. Okay, testing image, that's fine. Subject is hello. Okay, and when I do that, what happens is I'll go into here and say this is just a test. But you notice like it's looking for HTML content. Okay, so if I actually do this, it's not going to find it. It's finding it there, which is okay. But if I just do this and paste this in, and I preview this, now we should see this image, and it's not going to be there because it's not the right way. So let's go back. We're going to go back one more. We're not going to make a custom. We're just going to do as text, see what we get. Because if I do the email body here, right? And you say save it, that's fine. There's your image, okay? Now, if I wanted to do edit this guy again, see, I don't have the option of HTML, right? I wish I did. So there's my subject, that's the HTML. I'm going to actually get rid of this. Yeah, see, if it wants to do the letterhead and all that when you're doing an HTML template, which is kind of an odd, wacky thing. Like for instance, when you create the template, if you had letterhead, I don't want to set up the letterhead right now. what you end up with is this HTML preview. So ours was right there. See, and what these two previews are showing, like, okay, the font's nice here. So if you have an HTML viewable or viewer in your email, which most of us do, you're going to have this and then the image. Otherwise, it's just going to come across as plain text. If I edit the HTML, what you're looking at is there's our image, and you would actually paste this in. Now, you need to have a little bit of context there. You need to understand a little bit of basic HTML, unfortunately. I'm going to see if there's my testing image one. We're going to go back to this guy. Okay. I'm going to do this and see if I can get it to work. Image equals, and I'll just do this and see if we can get it to work. Right? If we go to testing image, I preview it, see it doesn't show up there, and it's still going this image here. I might not have the right lingo. So I don't want to waste too much time on this one, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Becky do a tip this coming month and try and have her do document or email templates in Lightning, including images, and I may also have her set up that email header, you know, the what are they calling it? The stationery, or the what was it? I lost my brain for a second. Letterhead. All right, that's what we're doing. So we do the letterhead here, HTML. Basically what you do is you end up saying, okay, I want to create letterhead, and that's fine. You must have active letterhead, which I go there, and I don't have any. Next, you create one, and I don't really want to create one at this point, right? But your letterhead is the logos and all that kind of stuff that you can have, right? Okay. We'll work on that for next month. I think that's a good one for you. If you want to explore it in the meantime, that's totally fine. All right, the final tip, sorry if that one wasn't as much as we wanted to crack it up to be. If for the final tip, what we're looking at is, let me see if did I close it out? I might have closed it out. No, I'm good. Process builder. So the process builder, we're talking about is new and is changed right here. Okay, let me just show you this so you can see it. Is new and is changed. Those are two very, very important formulas and functions within the traditional workflow model, or sometimes formula fields, right? You also have process builder here that we're using. We're talking about the process builder that allows certain things to change and become another value based on whatever it says in here, right? So for instance, if the value is new, do this. If it's changed, do this, right? And that's essentially what the crux of the situation is, okay? So we're going to go into process builder. I'm going to go into setup, which I'm already in. Do process builder here. We're going to go into this, okay? So now I'm going to look at, we're just going to do a new process, okay? And we're going to call this, actually, before I do that, let's go back here and let's see if there's things I can do. I'll look at my leads or maybe my contacts. Let's go back to my contact here. And let's say an example would be, I want account type. Those are all formulas. Those are accounts. Let's do primary. Yeah, I'm trying to see if we can do something in here. Let's go back to the account record. Might be able to mess with it over there instead. So an example would be if I want my closed, you know, to be other or something like that. You can change one if it's new to put in. Oh, I know what we'll do. We're going to do, if it's a new record, we're automatically going to make the status be a prospect, or the type be a prospect. Okay, and the status is going to be open or current. Okay, is what we're going to do. So what we do with the process builder is we're going to say update type and status. Okay, description used to update status and type fields. Process starts when a record changes. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to add our object. We're going to say, and the example on the tip is a little bit different. Let's talk about doing sales reps and stuff like that. That's fine. These are already going. That's okay. So only when a record is created. So I can start it when only it's created, which is fine. You can also do when it's edited. I'm just going to do when it's created. Okay. Save it. Add criteria. And I'm just going to say if record is new. This is a little bit stranger. I'm building this on the fly. So if I do conditions are met, that's fine. We're going to find a field. We're going to call it, actually, I don't have to do any of that, I don't think. Oh yeah, we can do it is new. So is new would be just, yeah, I mean, it's just easily like if this record is new, right? So if the, and what happens is if conditions are met. So let's do, for instance, if type is filled in the first time, or the status is current, or prospect is filled in the first time, we're going to make one of the others change. That's essentially what we're looking at. Okay. So if the conditions are met or the formula evaluates to true. So I'm going to do it this way and say formula evaluates to true. And I'm going to say type, account type, choose that. And what you do is you can say is new. Right? That type of thing. And actually, this is actually our criteria. So if anything, all we have to do, I'm going to take this back. All we need to do is new, right? And I think we can save this, right? So if the record is new, and that's all we're doing here is new, right? Then we can go here and say add actions, and we can update the record, right? Update records, maybe update fields, right? And we're going to update the account record that started it. That's fine. And we're going to add the field, and we're going to say type, account type is going to be prospect, and we're going to say status is current, and we save it. So basically what we're doing is if the record is new, we're going to update those two fields, and that's it, and we're going to activate this. Okay? We confirm that, and away we go. Now, if I did a new record, let's do a new account. Okay, go to my account area, my account name, I'm just going to say testing only. You can delete this later. And I save that. Now let's see. You notice that the status is already current. And it's a prospect, right? So what I've done is I've used that to say is new. And that's fine. And is new is real easy to do because it's not a lot that you have to mark out. Okay. Now, a couple of the things in the tip, right? If we go back to the process builder, right? One of the other criteria that we have, we're gonna clone this one, right? And that deactivates the old one. Okay. Save. We're not gonna do new anymore. What we're gonna do is we're gonna say like is changed. But with the formula, you have to change it up, right? So if we say is changed, and we have to look for the field, and we'll say is changed type, account type, right? If I say if type, account type is changed, and you can even do something called prior value, like if the prior value was this or this, don't do it, or vice versa, like prior value is blank, that's fine. But I'm going to say here is changed account type, and that evaluates to true. Okay. What I'm going to do is save this, and I'm going to update the fields, and we're going to change. We're going to get rid of the status, or we're going to get rid of this one, and we're going to say it's now in follow-up. So for some reason, if I want to change that to customer, actually, let's go back. Let's go back to here. We're going to do it. Not only is changed, I'm going to say and, well, let's do this, sorry. We have to do an operator now, and we're going to do type, right? we're going to say equals, which if we want to build it out, we can do it this way, equals, and we say customer. Now, the thing is, account type is a, it's a pick list, so it's kind of hard to do this. So what you have to do instead, trying to see if I can get in here and it will tell me. See, text will tell me if it's that. Let's see, text. Boom. Right, text value is what we're going to do. So we're going to say the text value of account type. We're getting a little bit more advanced, but what this is saying is, okay, if the text value of the converted type the converted account type equals customer, and account type is changed, meaning that it's changed to customer, right? What we're going to do is we're going to update that status instead of current to follow up. Okay, and we're going to activate this guy. So if I did that right, and I reload this page, I'm going to reload it just for giggles because I want to make sure it's all good. If I change this status, this type to customer, and save it, it should go to, it didn't. It should go to follow up. Let me reload it, see if it fell. And something didn't work. So if I look at this here, it's not if the record is new. Don't worry about that. This is just the criteria. But it is changed account type, right? And the text of account type equals customer. That could be where we're having an issue. Could be my criteria is not right. And of course, to clone it, I can't edit this guy. I have to clone it to edit it. Yeah. It's going to yell at me because it's already there. Well, it didn't, which is bizarre. Operator. Yeah, see, I should have like just double quotes. I'm going to have to mess with this and see. So it's because the formula evaluates to true is what I'm looking for, right? So is this, actually it might be conditions are met. I can do it this way, where I can say type, account type, account type, choose, and I could say equals customer, right? I want to do that as my criteria, and I want to say this is where we can do things here and say type, account type is changed. See right there, then I can do that and say Boolean is true. Sometimes I do it this way because it's easier, and you can just do this and say save. And if so, then we're going to update the fields. We're going to make the status be follow-up. Okay, just update all the records. You know, update. This is where I can do this type of thing too, where you can change it around. I'm going to do it this way and see if this works. Let's see if it messes with my data or not. All right, let's reload this. I'm going to make it analyst first, and I'm going to make it customer and hope it changes. It didn't change. So I have to look into why. But the is changed in the prior value. It's probably something with my code. Like I said, what Becky was doing was more of a prior value, and if the state changes, then update the sales rep, you know, the billing state, which is probably more of a legit thing. I'm just kind of messing with trying to make it simpler. So yeah, I'm not sure why mine is not running right now. Obviously, something's a little bit off. If anything, it's going to run later, and I'm just going to kick myself. But I don't want to take up too much more of your time today. You can see what we're looking at this point. You know, we've got a couple things going on here with the, just to kind of wrap up, we went through the is new, is changed, you know, formulas. We went through in Process Builder. We went through a little bit of images in classic templates, classic email templates, and what we have to do there. And then we also went over the right click, open it in a new tab, which is a really useful thing to do. All right, I hope you learned something. Sorry if I fumbled around a little bit. Sometimes it happens. I'll go a few weeks without touching this stuff, and you know, it makes me look silly, but I hope you at least learned something and know from my mistakes you can learn where not to go, right? I guess that's the silver lining. Wish you all a good day. Those of you watching this video on YouTube, thanks for joining. check out some of our other tips and tricks, feel free to sign up on our page, marksgroup.net. If you go there, you can sign up for our events. You can sign up for our tips and tricks every week, or every month that we load out. You'll get an email reminding you. You'll get the newsletter, and then you can always watch these webinars like you're doing now. All right. Thank you, folks. Have a great day. Thanks for joining.